Hey everyone, welcome to January edition of Our Mixed Media Moods, the monthly collaboration between Dee Catron and myself, where we make a mood board, pictured here, and then make projects based on that mood board. And we have an extra special guest designing with us this month, but you'll have to stay tuned to the end of the video till you see who it is. Okay, so I'm starting out in my hand-glued art journal on a piece of vintage math paper. And I'm stamping with the stamp. Now, okay, I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but it is one of those knockoff stamps from China. Now, before you all kill me, this was sent to me, this and another stamp set was sent to me by a friend. And I personally, myself, would never purchase from these knockoff companies because, I mean, they're putting our favorite companies out of business or affecting their bottom line. But it was sent to me, and in my house, we have a saying, use it up, wear it out, make it do or do without. So I'm going to use them. But that being said, I would never buy them, and I know this one is a knockoff. I've seen it, and yeah. So judge me if you want, but that's what it is. So I just stamped in the upper left and lower right. And I did a little masking so that I could fill in the top a little bit because the stamp's like kind of curved and I wanted the flowers to go all the way to the top. And then I'm going to add a little bit of masking tape to the top and bottom there. And I have one size of masking tape, but I just cut it like down the center or like a third of the way in to make different sizes of tapes because you guys know I'm cheap. So I don't like to buy things that I don't need to buy. So if I can cut it up and use it and it'll look different sizes, that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna add a layer of clear gesso over my whole page there. So it covers the masking tape as well as the math book paper because the math book paper is very, very thin and fragile. And then I'm gonna go over the whole thing with a light wash of Dina Wakley Media gesso. And I'm just gonna cover the whole thing and then dry that, and then I'm gonna try to concentrate the color like over where my masking tape is in the corners to make it a little more opaque there. And then once that's dry, I'm gonna take my Stabilo Markers and draw some sketchy lines in the corners, and then I'm gonna activate that color with a little water and also a little bit of the Dina Wakley Media in Elephant, which is a gray color with a red kind of pinky undertone. And the board is like purple and it has some like pinky kind of dusty colors, so that's why I chose the Elephant. And the reason I used the flower stamp is because there's succulent and leaves in the mood board, and I didn't have any of those stamps, so I just figured it's all botanical, right? So we went with flowers. And once that's dry, I'm going to take my Donna Downey stencil called Scribble Script and some Ranger texture paste and add that over the upper and lower corners there. I'm kind of concentrating my design to the upper left and lower right. And then, so I took some swatches of a bunch of colors that matched the mood board. And what I like to do is, so I don't have these purpley kind of colors in the mood board, so I'm gonna make my own. And what I like to do is Golden Paints has a virtual paint mixer, so you can upload a photo and then click anywhere in that photo to get like a swatch of that color, and then they'll tell you what different paints you need to mix to get that exact color. So they give you the color of the golden colors, but if you don't have golden, like I don't have a ton of golden paints, you can just match them to paints you already have. So I just uploaded the picture of the mood board into the golden paint mixer and just clicked around and got different variations of the color. And then I just looked through the paints that I had to make some of the colors I wanted. So to make this like purpley kind of plumish kind of color, I'm using all these colors you see here. I have fuchsia, white, marine, elephant, night, magenta, sky, and oh, what was the last one? Hold on. Eggplant. The last one was eggplant. So I'm going to add a little bit of my glaze satin glaze fluid glazing medium to my paint. And I'm also going to add a little bit of night to my mixture to darken up those edges. And basically the glazing fluid is kind of like a paint extender. It keeps your paint from drying as quickly. And in this case, I let it sit a little bit and then I can wipe most of it back with a baby wipe, but it catches on that texture paste and the masking tape that I have. Now, I let it sit a little bit too long, longer than I wanted, and you can kind of see there's like a line where the purple starts, like a stark line where you can see the purple starting and my math book page, because I should have went over the whole page with the glazing fluid. I shouldn't have let that blob in the middle there. But it is what it is. I tried to cover it up, and in the end, it doesn't really much matter. So once that's dry, I'm going to take my Stabilo again and use that to darken up the corners. They weren't quite dark enough for me. That night color didn't quite make it as dark as I wanted it to be in the corners. So I'm just using my Stabilo, running it around, scribbling it, and then activating the Stabilo with some water. And I'm also going to try to like concentrate it where like the swoops and stuff of the texture paste of the stencil are, to get some like shadowy looking areas. And then I didn't know where to go from this point, so I thought I'd take some of my gesso. This is the Dina Wakley Media gesso, and a palette knife, and kind of run it over that texture paste for a little bit of like a highlight, a little more interest. And once I did it, I was like, whoa, this is really stark. Because the mood board is kind of like a little moody and dark. You know, it's not bright and cheery like the white. So I decided to wipe most of that off. I did leave a little bit. And I quite enjoy at the end, the little bit that I left. You know, it's always nice to have highlights and lowlights in a piece. It makes it a little more interesting, I think. So when I wiped that gesso off, it also wiped off my Stabilo because it's water soluble, so it will always reactivate with water. So I just needed to go back in with the Stabilo and add some more of those darks in where they had gotten wiped away. And then I thought instead of the white, I'd add some of that night color on my palette knife. And this I was much more happy with. Much more happy? I was much happier with that. So I'm just using my palette knife and holding it parallel to my page and scraping it over the top of my page. And I'm going to add a little water to the paint and add some splatters. And then I made this little window out of rusted jewelry wire. And I just took regular jewelry wire and put it in a solution of vinegar overnight. And then took it out the next day and it was rusted. And I made this little window, which is a technique I learned from a Jean Oliver class called Storytellers and Mavericks. She talks a lot about, or she has a lesson about adding wire to like portraits and stuff. But so that's where the idea came from. And that's why I didn't show myself assembling the window on screen, because I didn't want to give away too much of, you know, her class information. I always worry about that when I'm learning stuff, that I'm gonna give away what I learned. So I do my best not to do that. But I want to incorporate the new stuff that I learned. Like, I'm obsessed with this jewelry wire. My last video had some this, and I have so many different pieces that I made with this jewelry wire. Okay, so I'm going to take some purple DMC floss and stitch my window down to my page, because it's got a lot of dimensional areas. I would not have been able to glue it flat to my page, and I don't think the glue would have stayed if I could have gotten it to even like adhere in certain spots. So I thought I'd just add a couple stitches here and there to it, and my paper's super thin, so I was ripping holes in it, so I just added masking tape to the whole back of my page, and that helped reinforce it enough that when I stitched through, that it was strong enough that that I didn't rip any holes into my page. So I just added like stitches here and there. Maybe if I had more time, I'd add stitches all around the window. But yeah, so then for a final piece, I added some words here. These are the Tim Holtz clippings words, and I like to cut out words from the phrases. And this one says, "Remember that I am home." And I applied a layer of gel medium over the top of my words as well, because I learned from experience that if you don't coat them with something and then you try to use water on them, they completely obliterate. So I just lined it with a little bit of Stabilo, activated that with water, and then to kind of gray that out a little so that it wasn't so stark. So then here are the still photos of my page. Pretty simple, but I gotta tell you, I am digging it. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but you know, it doesn't always shake out like that. It doesn't always shake out that I like what I'm doing. So this is Dee Dee's piece. Amazing. Her link is down below in the description box, and our special guest artist is Tiff from Southern Gal Designs. I know you guys know who she is. She is so hot right now, and we are loving her, and we are loving her project, and we had to get her in on our moods. So this is her project. Be sure to check her video out, and her link is also down below in the description box. And thank you so much, Tiff, for joining us. We love you, and thank you guys so much for watching. And if you have any questions or comments, let me know. And yeah, check out the other videos, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye, guys. Oh, I forgot to mention, we would love for you to play along if you're so inclined. Use any element from the mood board that inspires you. You can add a photo to our Facebook group, which will be linked below, or also our new Instagram. You can tag us there, hashtag our mixed media moods, or add us on there, and at our mixed media moods. Yeah, so we love seeing what you guys do with the mood board. It's always super inspiring for me to see how you guys take the mood board. So yeah, okay, talk to you guys soon. Bye bye.